Hey, what's up, everybody? Gray skies are going to clear up. Why? Because it's time to run it back. I'm Suli McCullough with my co-host, Mr. Dan Ratner, and we've got so much basketball to talk about. So let's just get into it. It's time to run it back, y'all.
I am so excited to be here again with you, Suli, and as always, the first thing I check out, don't think that I'm very appearance-driven, but I always check out your jersey first.
Yes, it is time to talk about my jersey. I went with a special choice this week, not so much a jersey, but a classic NBA Minnesota Timberwolves warm-up. This is a Sandnet medalist warm-up from 1989, their inaugural year. And I have a story behind this. I was fortunate enough this week to almost go to the Clippers-Wolves game at Staples Center, the first game where they allowed fans back. My daughter went with her friends, got some tickets from Karl Anthony Town. She called me at about 5 o'clock and said, "Dad, Karl left us some extra tickets. Would you like to go to a game?" And I was like, of course I would. So I put on a fit. Didn't put this on because I'm a Clipper fan, but I put on a fit. I brought my immunization card, and I got my ticket. I was not able to go into Staples Center. I was not able to go. Why? Because even though I'm double vaxxed, you have to wait 10 days after your second shot. So I was still in that window of being vaxxed, but not vaxxed enough for Staples Center. So shout out to Karl Anthony Town and everyone at Staples Center that kept me out.
That was good. Good job.
Yes,
Staples
it was
Center.
good. Yeah, good job on you guys. But I will be back, and it was very and shout out to my daughter for just thinking about her dad and knowing I would enjoy seeing a game live. That game was a blowout. I watched the tail end in my apartment, so it was all good.
Listen, you know you're making progress in a pandemic when you almost go to a basketball game.
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was great. I can't complain. Like, even just getting close to Staples Center and knowing there's a game going on in there was enough for me. It definitely it gave me that run it back energy that I needed. So I'm repping the Wolves, who have also been eliminated from the playoffs as of last night. So
you're representing the fallen.
Yes, exactly. Talented team with some talented players. Maybe next year they'll put it together and make the playoffs.
Now, just briefly, I want to tell you about my shirt. It's a Brooklyn
Yes,
Nets
please.
shirt,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hog up all the airtime.
Listen, the jersey part is always about you. I'm
Okay.
an afterthought, but this one is a little bit better because I lived in Brooklyn for 15 years, and I was there when the Barclays Center was built.
A beautiful place to see a game, by the way. I've seen a game there. That place is designed, if you are a basketball fan, to enjoy a game. Like, you feel like you're in concert.
It's amazing, I will say.
Yes.
But actually, the interesting thing is my family actually played a role in building that.
Really?
We were part of the, not me, but we were part of the management company that did the Atlantic Yards project. And when I moved to Brooklyn in 2004, there were a lot of picketers because it was they had to take over certain areas and get people to move. And so there were picketers with signs that said, "Ratner, go home." And
Really?
I was like, I just got here.
Wow. You should have kept one of those signs. That should
Seriously,
be, yes.
Who has
Come
a story
on.
like that? So, anyways, I was given this shirt when I decided to move from Brooklyn.
Yes.
By my basketball game. So I'm wearing it in their honor.
Nice.
Let's move to NBA Prime Cuts.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Prime Cuts is thick this week.
It is.
So
And
let's just jump into it.
Listen, it's almost extra thick because we've got to start off with the news about the George Floyd. People are calling it the George Floyd trial, like he's on trial, actually. It's totally
No,
backwards.
I don't think that's the way you should frame it. It's the Derek Chauvin.
Exactly.
Are you going to have to pay consequences for something we all saw?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So, Suli, what are you thinking this means around the NBA? What does this mean to the league?
Well, I mean, I think that this was one of those central like points to fight for equality for everyone. And specifically because we all saw this in a time where the world had stopped, I think the NBA and the WNBA really focused their efforts on calling attention to how we live in two Americas. And this was a central pivotal thing that most of these players were willing to take a stand and in some cases not play because of the brutality and, just calling attention to just how not right this was. So when the verdict came down, 3 guilty, Derek Chauvin was found guilty on all 3 counts. I think that, the feelings were mixed. I know for me, I didn't feel a sense of celebration. I felt like, well, at least the court system has validated what we all saw. And I think that the athletes that used their platform to call attention to this and the Breonna case and many others felt a sense of at least the court supported and the jurors supported what we all saw. So that was a good thing. We still have a lot of work to do. We're far from addressing this in a substantive way, but at least this is one that we can go, okay, justice was served.
Yeah, it feels like there's some form of a step forward. And I think the NBA is so important in this. Because
yes.
It is the league that leads on these things.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And let's not forget, these players are not that much older than a lot of these people that are losing their lives senselessly. So they're connected to it. They're also connected to their communities. So this does hit close to home. And I appreciate the players for using their platform to call attention to these things because they're unfortunately happening far too often.
Right. So let's talk about LeBron's tweet. The removed tweet.
Yes, and this is a separate issue from the Derek Chauvin trial and the aftermath of that. Unfortunately, yet another young person was senselessly killed at the hands of police. And this happened in Columbus, Ohio, where LeBron is from. So he has ties here. He's very invested in his community and the well-being. And he reacted in a way where, he posted a picture of this officer in question and said, "You're next," with the hashtag accountability. He deleted this tweet because people were saying that he was inciting violence with the tweet. I don't know if that's the case. I just think that he was probably wrapped with emotion. When these things happen so frequently, it's frustrating. It's debilitating. I think, it was probably smart to take the tweet down because each side will frame it according to their own narrative. Mm-hmm. But I do like that LeBron is not afraid to use his platform to call attention to these more serious issues that are bigger than basketball.
Yeah, and one thing I love about LeBron is the word accountability.
Yes.
Because I don't think he meant to incite violence. I understand it could be interpreted that way, and I do think that it was good to take it down for that reason.
Right.
But the word accountability is really great. It's a great one for us to hold on to.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And we do need more accountability. You know what I mean? Like, one of the things that bothered me the most about the George Floyd murder and the subsequent trial was the fact that we were reducing a human life. The fact that he wasn't a perfect person somehow justified what happened, which to me is atrocious. It's a lack of humanity. It's all the things that are wrong with where we are in America right now.
Yep, and look, it's a highly politicized environment. We know that, and we're not trying to stoke sides, on either side. But there's this whole issue of championship teams visiting presidents. The last time a team
visited the White House.
Yeah, it was what, the 2016 Cavs? Is that right?
Yes, that's right. That's right. Under President Obama, who was a huge basketball fan. And, LeBron and the rest of the Cavs, that was the last time they went to visit the White House. This current NBA championship team, the Los Angeles Lakers, have decided not to visit the White House. They have a game against the Wizards coming up at the end of the month, and they're not going to visit the White House. They're not going to visit Joe Biden. They're not going to visit Kamala Harris. They're just going to bypass that, which is interesting. And I think that it's probably a smart move for where we are right now because there is no upside to it. You know what I mean? Right. Like there really isn't. If you go visit this president as opposed to the previous president, that will get flipped and turned a certain way, and that becomes a big discussion, and it's just not worth it. I kind of like what the Warriors did when they won the championship. They decided not to visit the White House, but went to the Civil Rights Museum in D.C. And I don't know if you've had a chance to go there, Dan, but it's a pretty amazing museum. Like, it's got some fun stuff in there. And then, you learn a lot. So I would recommend maybe a couple of the players go there. There's a ton of museums in D.C. Go to a museum is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
I'm advocating going to a museum. Yes.
That's the message of the show. Listen, we're doing this show just for museums.
Yes, right.
It was like a hidden agenda.
We love basketball, but we're also going to big up some museums.
That's right.
Right. You know what's funny about the notion of visiting the president as a pass is I love when they give the president the customized jersey that has his name and the number 1 on the back.
Yeah.
That's one of the cool perks of being the president. One of the things that always bugged me about that, though, is you never saw any presidents rocking those jerseys for fun. I'm a Jersey fan. I wear jerseys on this show all the time. Wouldn't you love to see, like, George Bush, who's a big basketball fan, just wearing one of his custom jerseys at a game?
Yeah, and I want him to go sleeveless, too. I want to see all the presidents sleeveless.
With no white T-shirt underneath, showing off the guns.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, imagine how great that would be. And
that would be fantastic.
That's how they should show the presidents in history. Just in basketball, Imagine
actually,
Abe Lincoln in one of those.
Their last day in office, they should have to wear their jersey of choice as they board Air Force One to say goodbye.
if we can run it back to be that big, we'll make some changes. So
that's fantastic.
Let's talk about. The regular season comes to a close May 16th.
That's right. It's right around the corner. We are rounding the stretch.
And we've got a different playoff system. So the race for 6th place prevents you from being in a play-in game.
Yes.
So
7 through 10 plays in a play-in game. I believe it's a 1 game. You win, you advance. You lose, your season is done. So we've got some stakes. So everyone is pushing for that 6 seed. 6 and above is golden. 7 through 10, there's some pretty close matchups, some tough matchups. You're going to have to be on your game right at the end of the season.
Yeah, and I love that it actually makes it so that those super teams who maybe haven't played together so much, they could be vulnerable if they're in that spot, because it's like those 5-game series, but even more so. Yeah.
Right.
So actually,
I mean, that definitely affects the Lakers with getting their superstars back late. Right now, I believe they're in the 5 seed, so they're okay. But, a few more losses, they could drop down in that crucial spot. And in the West, there are some really good teams that you wouldn't want to see in a 1-game winner-take-all series.
Yeah, who are some of those teams? Let's just,
Well, we've got the Warriors. We've got Portland is in there in that mix a little bit. On the outside looking in, you've got the Pelicans and Zion. Though they're out of they're out of that mix. All those teams, Dallas is right there, and that's like it's tough.
You got some major superstars there.
Yes,
in the
exactly, exactly, and anything can happen. Anything can happen,
and especially with these injuries.
Well, this season has been unprecedented in terms of injuries. I think, maybe part of it has to do with the fact that, we had the bubble. There wasn't a lot of downtime. We were right back up. They get a lot of back-to-back games. But the injuries are incredible. Like, almost all your favorite superstars have been hurt, are hurt, getting back into the game. LeBron is still dealing with the high ankle sprain. He's expected to make his return next week or maybe after that. AD just came back recently. He's on a minutes restriction, though, so he's just playing his way into shape. Kevin Durant might make his return over the weekend, but we're still not sure. James Harden out with a hamstring and suffered a recent setback, so we don't know when he's coming back. LaMelo Ball, this is good. LaMelo Ball, who was out with the wrist injury, has been cleared for practice. All basketball-related activities. They're saying he could come back at the end of the month. That is exciting, because Anthony Edwards was creeping into the mix for Rookie of the Year. So now that race gets interesting. Donovan Mitchell's still out. He's going to miss several games. We got a lot of injuries. Jamal Murray out. Trae Young just rolled his ankle. Kawhi Leonard's got a bad foot. The fun guy's foot is messed up. So yeah, injuries are huge right now.
Oh, listen, I have a nephew who loves that quote. I'm a fun guy. It cracks us up every time. Love that Kawhi said that. Listen, I have a different theory about it all.
Okay, I want to hear it.
I think I have a joke theory and a real theory. Here's my joke theory.
All right. No, yeah, okay, I was going to say give me the real theory first and then close with the joke.
All right, I'll do
instinctually
that.
you went joke first then real theory.
Yeah, because the real theory has a lot of meat on it. So
the
joke is simply that I heard all this and I was like, it sounds like the Cleveland Browns training staff took over the entire team.
I like that. That's good.
Because
good.
Like the amount of staph infections and the Cleveland Browns in history.
Yes.
Like, what are you guys doing?
Yes.
So that's the joke.
Okay.
But here's the real thing. One of the reasons I decided to wear the Brooklyn shirt is that Harden, who was on my fantasy team, he was supposed to lead me to the promised land.
Oh, yeah.
He goes out at just the wrong time.
Yes.
But listen, I'm not bitter about that. I don't. I'm not bitter. I just bring it up on a national television
exactly.
show.
Yes, yeah. You just harp on it. It's all right.
But here's the thing. I look at this injury list.
Yes.
And there's different stories to injuries. So I'm a therapist that works with mind-body stuff. And what that means is people can actually experience physical pain and symptoms due to their mindset.
Yes.
And James Harden strikes me as different than some of these other guys.
How so?
Because this is his chance to win. This is his chance to win, and he has so much more pressure on him, and he has never shown that he can rise to the pressure. What I hope for James Harden is that he actually figures this out and starts to tweak what's going on in his mind so that he can become one of the real greats.
Yes.
But he's got to tweak his mind. That's my take.
And so now that he's out right now and he's nursing this injury, what are some things that he can do in terms of strengthening his mind as well as his body?
Well, I think part of what he needs to realize, if you're taking my perspective on it, is, listen, you got to know that part of this is your mindset, and you got to start regrouping. You got to look at this and be like, oh, this injury, these setbacks are partly because I'm scared. He's got to actually own it to himself.
Wow.
See, this is big-time stuff.
Yeah, that's deep. That's very deep. Do you think, well, let me ask you this, though, because that's an interesting theory, but do you think now that he knows he has Kyrie on one side and KD on the other side, and Blake Griffin just as a dude that'll sucker punch you just for the fun of it, don't you think that kind of alleviates a lot of that fear that maybe he might have had in Houston? And fear is a strong word to say out loud. You know what I mean? Because this guy is an alpha. He's option number one. And if you were to ask him, he would go, fear? What's fear? You know what I mean? Like he would. Yeah. My instinct is he would instantly repress that and just start stroking his beard.
I think it's totally true. Look, I don't think he knows about this. And I actually think playing with KD and Kyrie Irving in a way puts on more pressure because he has to stand out. He's got to be that leader. You know, when LeBron went to Miami and Wade had already won a championship, he had to find a way to stand out as the true leader.
Yes.
I think Harden's actually worried about that. I don't think he knows it, but
that's interesting.
James, if you're watching, I can help you.
Well, we're going to see what happens because the playoffs are right around the corner. Those big three superstars have only played 7 games together, so they're going to have to get their chemistry right instantly, or it's going to be a lot of finger pointing, and a lot of those subconscious things will probably come to the surface. Absolutely. So I think Steve Nash's job of coaching is about to get a lot harder.
Oh, I think so. So here's a guy, though, who you've seen step up in ways that he's already crossed that bridge that Harden hasn't yet.
Yes.
Steph Curry. We got to talk about
yes. Yeah, we have to talk Steph Curry. Like last week when we had Nick Cho on the show, who was a great guest, by the way, we talked about Steph Curry. We gave him his props. I wore a Steph Curry, the town jersey. So I was all in on Steph Curry. And I thought, okay, yeah, we did him we gave him his roses. He balled out, and we acknowledged that. This week, we have to give him more roses. He is. He's
insane.
he's the supermodel. He's the supermodel that you're like, oh, I just sent you 4 dozen roses, and I'm going to send you 5 dozen more because you're just that good.
Let me read the stats.
Please do. And this is before his streak of 11 30-plus games was recently stopped by the Wizards. But before that, just listen to these numbers. Please, go ahead.
This is in the last 5 games.
Yes.
49 points, 10 threes made.
That's crazy.
Then 47 points, 11 threes made.
One more for good measure.
Then he had a dud. 33 points, 4 threes.
That's a dud.
His dud.
That's his dud.
42 points, 11 threes again, 53
Sure.
points, 10 threes. In 5 games, he hit 10 or more threes 4 times. He's the first player to make 70 threes in a 10-game span.
70 threes in a 10-game span.
I think I'm going to have an aneurysm.
Yeah. That is Steph-nificent.
It is.
It's Steph-tacular.
What?
I mean, it's Steph really, really good. It's it's unreal. Like he's 33 years old. Like he broke Kobe Bryant's record of 10 games of 30 games plus as a 33-year-old, and he broke it by 1 game. And those numbers are incredible.
Yeah,
like
listen.
not only has he been overperforming, like he really, you know how the kids say he's in his bag? Steph Curry has a bag store, and he just pulls from various bags, okay? That's how good this dude has been playing. It's really remarkable to see. I had a feeling, and I don't want to feel like Nostradamus here, but very early on, I thought he was going to have a good year, and he has had a tremendous year. I didn't think it was going to be this good. Like, he is must-see TV. He is a superstar of superstars, and I totally understand why LeBron James is recruiting this guy to play with him. That is a smart play.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of, I didn't see it being this good. We're going to move to the Knicks. We did not see it being this good.
Yeah, that's a perfect segue, because the Knicks have won 8 straight games, and they are balling. There is excitement in New York, and not just because of the Brooklyn Nets, like your T-shirt says. Like, it is also about the Knicks. Spike Lee's excited. Which Charles Oakley might be able to be back in the building. Like, the Knicks are on fire. You have to give them props. I liked Julius Randle, liked him a ton. Yeah. I didn't think I was going to like him this much. He is super performing. Good for Julius Randle. Thumbs up.
Yep, and I'm gonna call out props where it's deserved. Julius Randle, I didn't think he was going to be nearly this good. Even in fantasy sports, I was like, no, I don't think. And he's been a juggernaut.
Yes, and I don't know if you've been watching the Knicks. I've watched some Knicks games. They really run plays through Julius Randle. They clear it out, let him go, take his man. He's hitting threes, but it's not just Julius Randle. R.J. Barrett, in his second year, has picked up his numbers. He's making some nice contribution. D. Rose is being D. Rose, which is great. We love that. Nerlens Noel. Remember Nerlens Noel? He turned down a $70 million deal with the Dallas Mavericks, and everybody was like, dude, you are crazy. You're crazy to do that. He bet on himself. He's paying dividends. He's probably going to be able to get a nice contract after this season. So Emmanuel Quigley, the point guard, is doing good things. Like, the Knicks have something going on. I like what they're doing. I think you have to consider Tom Thibodeau as the potential coach of the year. They're third defensively in the entire NBA. So that defensive presence is allowing itself to manifest itself and create an identity. And offensively, those guys are long. They're going for it. Big up the Knicks.
You know, I will say also, the fact that they're strong defensively means they could go deep. It's going to be really interesting to see.
Yes.
So, Suli, do you know what time it is?
What time is it?
Well, we just finished prime cuts. Every time we finish prime cuts.
Is it time for your favorite segment? The segment we like to know as "Say What."
That's right. It's my favorite segment that I cannot introduce. It's got to be you.
No, it has to be me.
It has to be.
And in this segment, we talk about what players have said and why we have to discuss it.
That's
so
right.
we're in your favorite segment.
That's
Say
right.
what?
And today it's not Charles Barkley or Draymond Green. So
yeah.
something new.
Yeah, so something new. We always got a new curve and say what?
But Zion Williamson gave us a great talking point. I love this.
Okay.
He was a guest on Shannon Sharp's podcast, Club Shay Shay.
Great name for a podcast. Great name for a podcast.
It is. Shout out to that. During the podcast, Sharp asked Zion about some of his favorite dunkers and which ones would go on his NBA Mount Rushmore. The Mount Rushmore of dunkers.
That's great.
Zion's.
So it can only be four players. Let's go from 4 to 1. How about that?
From 4 to 1. Okay.
Okay.
So
number 4.
And this is a very deserving guy on the Mount Rushmore. Vince Carter. Vinsanity.
Great pick. How can you not have Vince Carter on your
his
dunk
dunks,
more?
His
Dunks are
amazing.
ridiculous. I was at the All-Star game in Northern California when I saw those dunks in person. I had nosebleed seats, and it was the most exciting, one of my best basketball memories ever. Like like when he did the dunk where he put his elbow in the rim, that one, and just hung there.
Yeah.
There was a hush in the building because people were trying to process what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like,
and then when he did this and said it was over, it really was over.
It was
like being in the. Do you remember Def Comedy Jam when it was at its hottest?
Mm-hmm.
Def Comedy Jam, the audience shots were better than the comedians sometimes because it'd be people just high-fiving each other and getting up. That's what that dunk contest was like. I had nosebleed seats, and I was high-five. It was one of the most fun times I've ever had.
That's amazing. From nosebleed.
So I was at that. So Vince Carter, very deserving on Zion's Mount Dunkmore list.
His third is LeBron.
The king. How can you not have the king? Some of the best in-game dunks ever. The only knock on LeBron, if you can even knock LeBron, which you can't, but the only knock is he never entered a dunk contest.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted him to enter a dunk contest, never did it.
He never did it. You know what I think he can do, though, to remedy that?
What's that?
After he retires,
he
should come do a dunk contest. After. He should win
that
a dunk
would be
contest
hilarious. That would be hilarious.
44.
I think the closest we've got to him doing a dunk contest is when he was dunking in layup lines at Bronny's games in Summer League.
Yep.
That was his dunk contest.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now number 2 on the list.
Okay, we're getting to it.
Listen, I mean, to me, these are the 2 greatest dunkers of all time. It's not even close.
Okay.
Number
I 2.
Say it's not even close because Vince Carter and LeBron James are great.
Yes.
The number 2 is Neek. Dominique,
the human highlight film, number 21 from the Hawks. I love Dominique.
The pump reverse dunk.
That dunk is incredible.
Power.
Yeah, that dunk's incredible. First of all, he snapped that dunk back so far, it looked like he was going to break his torso. Like, that's how far back he went. Dominique was an incredible dunker. Remember this one where he came this way with the dunk?
Yep.
Like he was like this? I don't even know what that is.
I think you should just keep doing that.
Yeah. And what was great about Dominique is he had the kind of curl, like the Jerry curl that was like he was an R&B singer, kind of, like Dominique is a deserving number 2.
Yeah, look, it was like if Luther Vandross could dunk.
Absolutely. He had a dash of Gerald Levert in his whole look. So, yeah, Dominique number 2, excellent. Excellent choice.
And number 1, his airness, Michael Jordan. I mean,
how can Michael Jordan not be number 1?
That's right.
Jordan has some of the best in-game dunks. He dominated the dunk contest. Like, the dunk is synonymous with Michael Jordan. So, I give Zion props for being a young dude that knows the history of the NBA and obviously knows his dunks.
That's right.
That's
now,
a great list.
We're going to give a sneaker side note. The Zion 1, his first signature shoe with Jordan brand released this week. So
yes, that's right. And what's cool about this shoe, pretty cool looking shoe. I've seen it. I might have to add a pair to my collection. This is the first shoe that is made for all 5 positions. Zion's a big dude. Big guys sometimes have a hard time selling sneakers. Zion's so mobile and athletic, you can be a point guard and still rock the Zion ones.
That's nice. It's designed for all 5 positions and all 5 toes.
Yes.
Very,
all 5
very
toes.
Versatile. Very versatile.
All 5 toes.
So listen, in the interest of time, we got to get to Dunk of the Week.
Okay. Okay.
You're introducing it with a new
See,
trivia.
we do a thing now where you don't see the Dunk of the Week.
That's right.
I select it. I curate the Dunk of the Week. For you and our fans, here it is, the Dunk of the Week from Anthony Edwards. He's back.
All right.
That's just the first one. That's just the first one.
That's
That's
just
not
the
it.
first.
That's just a warm-up.
That's not even it.
That's a little appetizer. Okay, wait a minute. Oh, yeah. That's the second dunk for you. First one was a warm-up dunk, just to show you I got legs. What? Oh, you're not going to help? Bam! Dunked on.
Do you know who that reminded me of?
Who's that?
The mailman. That
Karl
looked like
Malone. That's a good one. That does have some shades of Karl Malone.
You know what I mean?
Karl Malone would give you that powerful, he would just do this.
Yeah.
And then give it, yeah.
And he would come at that same angle. And
Yes,
it was just like,
yes.
you can be obliterated by me.
Yes.
Or you can just let me dunk. Right.
That was the 18-wheeler Mack truck dunk
And they were
with a
just
little
like,
bit of this
"I'm outta
just
here."
to show you I got guns. He was very much into he knew his biceps was where his money is made.
That is right. Okay, so we're going to move now to who's hot or who's not. And we're going to do something new this time, too.
Okay.
I'm going to do like just a blue streak of things that we just need to cover.
Yes.
Because if we're going to be an NBA show and take ourselves seriously, we got to mention some things.
Well, we got to.
Here we go. So you feel free to interrupt when you want, but I'm going to run really fast. Okay.
Who's hot? Who's not? Let's go.
Nets versus Miami. Bam hits a game winner. He's hot. Denver versus
yes.
Memphis. Jokic scores 47 points with the
In double overtime.
In double overtime, 139-137. Clearly, he's hot.
Yep.
Okay. Bucks versus Suns. Devin Booker puts the game on ice at the free throw line. Guess what?
That was a competitive back and forth game. He iced the game. People were talking about him as an MVP candidate. Hot game. Devin Booker hot.
Yep. So look, I'm just pouring out the hot. It's hot.
Yeah,
wild.
I like it. We're starting off hot.
Paul George is balling. The Clippers are quietly amassing wins under the radar. By the way, remember I said they were going to win the championship? They are going to win the championship.
Wow. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. They
sorry.
have won 10 of the last 11 games. They are very hot. Can this Paul George, can PG-13 keep this going next month? That is all that really matters.
And Rondo is already paying dividends. And
yes, he is.
Meanwhile, you know who you've got? I'm a fun guy. I love it. You cannot lose. Okay. Washington Wizards, Russell Westbrook became the first player in NBA history with multiple triple-doubles against every franchise in the league. He is NBA Jam.
Yes, he is.
My Cleveland Cavs get Greg Buckner his first NBA coaching win in JB Bickerstaff's absence. They avenged the loss to the Chicago Bulls, 121-105. Shout out to assistant coaches. We have been trying to mention this for weeks. Mike Woodson,
we have. We got to get it in there, please.
We got to get it in.
Yes.
Mike Woodson finalized a 6-year contract a couple weeks ago to become a coach at his alma mater, Indiana. He was a Hoosiers star under Bob Knight. We're just noticing there's a lot of great assistant coaches. We're going to have that as a different conversation at some point.
And the Knicks actually recently gave Woodson his props and presented him with a jersey. So that is a great win. We are very happy with him and wish him much success. That is what you want to see. You want to see players utilized in the way that best serves the game. That's right. And last in the blue streak, Kareem turned 74.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Give it up to the
74?
Cap. When's that?
He turned 74 during prime cuts because we had so much in there.
Yes.
That it just stretched out, and he aged an entire year.
Happy birthday to the Cap.
So that's my blue streak. Now
nice.
we're gonna get to some more hot. Let's talk about Chris Paul.
Let's talk about Chris Paul. Chris Paul also doing things like Steph Curry, setting records. Please let me know why we are celebrating Chris Paul. If you don't know, he passed Magic Johnson, the great Magic Johnson, for 5th place on the NBA's all-time assists, leading. He only trails John Stockton. Jason Kidd, Steve Nash, and Mark Jackson. So that is great company. He is going to pass some, if not all of those people before it is all said and done. Some people are starting to say that Chris Paul deserves some MVP consideration. I am one of those people that feels that way.
Now listen, the assists are called dimes, right?
Yes, they are.
So
yes, they are. Thank you. Thank you for schooling me.
No, I'm not teaching you. I'm just making sure I'm just bringing in a math joke.
Yes.
Every show needs a math joke.
Yes.
So John Stockton has 15,806 dimes. So when you add that up,
yes,
he has $158.06. No, is that right? No, 1,580 and 60 cents. That's right. I'm adding
That's
it
a
up
lot
in
of
terms
dimes.
of dimes.
That's a lot of dimes.
That's a lot of dimes. But also,
Yes.
it's actually a kind of a paltry sum.
Yes. I don't even think you can buy a Zion 1 with that many dimes.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
So now the Suns did have a really difficult week last week.
They had the Sixers, Celtics, Knicks, Brooklyn, and the Clippers before it's all said and done.
Do you think they passed the test?
I actually do think they passed the test. They got a great win last night. They eked out another close victory. So I think they're having a really strong week given the level of competition. And these are all road games. So, yeah, I do think the Suns have passed the test. That Clipper game is going to be a pivotal game because both those, it's a 2-3 seed. It happens later on this weekend. So we'll see. But I feel like they have definitely passed the test.
Now, if the Clippers do win the championship, what am I going to get? We have to think about this. I mean, I really threw down.
I will send a T-shirt your way. I will send a very special T-shirt out of my archives. I have a whole bin of Clipper T-shirts that I have amassed over the years. Some very special ones.
Well, and if they lose, I'm going to have to think about what I owe you because I've tempted you with this.
Yes, you have.
So I understand. I'm a Cavs fan, but eventually it actually happened. Dreams really do come true. Can't believe
that.
it.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
All right,
if that happens for me, I might be too happy. We can't even discuss how happy I might be with myself.
Absolutely. Now listen.
Maybe it's best that I don't even hold on to that dream.
We gotta. I'll try to keep it calm for you. I'll try to stop doing this. But listen. So Kevin Durant was on the $1 million worth of game podcast.
Yes, a lot of podcasts happening right now.
All over the place. And he was asked his list of top 5 players he's ever played with.
Okay.
Well, guess who was on there and who wasn't?
Russell Westbrook?
Russell Westbrook was not initially.
He was not on his initial list of his favorite 5 players that he's ever played with. His all-time 5. No Russell Westbrook.
No.
Who was on that list?
Okay, that's the key.
Okay.
Serge Ibaka.
Serge Ibaka, and I like Serge. Serge plays for my team now, so I've got an affinity for Serge, but there's no way you don't have Russell Westbrook on that list. I'm glad he changed it.
That was like either...
Or I would be in an uproar.
Yeah, I mean, it was either like he unconsciously forgot, or he was kind of throwing some shade.
Maybe that was... maybe they assume that they're going to see them in the playoffs, and this was just a little playoff trash talking.
Yep. Now listen,
which, Mr. Burner account himself is good at the trash talk.
Oh, we know he is.
Yes.
He is. Sometimes it comes from someone else.
Yes.
All right, now, Dwyane Wade, 3-time
Love
NBA
Dwyane Wade.
Dwyane Wade just purchased an ownership stake in the Utah Jazz.
Whoa.
I didn't see that union coming somehow.
Well, he did, and this is great. This is what we want. We love it when players become owners. It's happened before. Grant Hill has an ownership stake in the Atlanta Hawks. Shaquille O'Neal has ownership stake in the Sacramento Kings. Michael Jordan is, of course, the Charlotte Hornets. And Magic Johnson used to have ownership stake in the Lakers. So we love it when players make their mark and achieve greatness on the court and then transition it to ownership off the court. So that's great. We're already Utah Jazz fans here. We do things that other shows don't do. We give props to the Utah Jazz. And so this is great. We'll have to see what happens in terms of, but we're rooting for D Wade.
Absolutely. I really do root for these guys. You've got to remember, they came from backgrounds usually that do not have anything that could possibly relate to this stuff.
Right. Right.
They end up there.
And also, too, there is this notion that once a player stops playing, that their careers are in effect done. So these secondary and third lives are really interesting to watch with these legends.
Absolutely. Okay, now I've got one. I don't know if this is hot or not.
Okay.
Did you see James Harden? His sideline.
His fit.
Right.
Fit. Let's just show this for the
we
people.
We need to show this picture.
Yes.
This needs to be seen.
Yes. We can't just talk about it. We got to be about it. You got to see this.
I want to stare at it. Actually.
There it is. There it is. James Harden is way more confident than you and I combined, because as much as I'm confident in myself, and I know you are confident in yourself as a therapist and a doctor and an NBA fan, that fit in and of itself, I don't see you rocking that on the weekends.
It looks like, I don't know if you remember this show, but it somehow brings to mind like a kids show, like the Teletubbies or something.
Yes,
like,
it does have a slight Teletubby feel. It has a little bit of an HR Puff and Stuff feel. I'm going to keep it even more base. Did you ever go to Thrifty's for ice cream?
Yeah.
And get the cones at Thrifty's?
Uh-huh.
That is rainbow sherbet in the best way possible. I mean, look at that.
Great.
Look.
Okay,
You know what that should be? That should be how it started and how it's going for James Harden. Because I want to know where he went after the game. He didn't play that game. That was his sideline fit. I want to know where he went after the game.
Well, we know he went for dessert.
He definitely got some ice cream. I think if you don't walk around in that fit with a sugar cone and some rainbow sherbet, you're not living right.
Okay, from now on, I'm calling James Harden Rainbow Sherbet. I can't not. And by the way, I'm going to blow that up into a poster size. And
As you should.
Because if you listen, I'm a therapist. If you ever wanted to fight depression,
Yes.
just blow up that picture.
Yes.
And stare at it.
You know what? It made me so happy when I saw it. I said, James Harden, you might be my favorite player now,
Well,
for the confidence.
Let me just note one other thing. His mask is it can be easily confused with his beard. Like, what is what there?
Right.
So
because he wanted you to pay attention to the fit. He didn't want the mask to distract you.
I love how he thought that we wouldn't be paying attention.
Yeah, exactly. Who's that guy over there that looks like ice cream? Even Clyde Frazier was like, well, that's a little much.
That's right. Oh, my God. All right. We're going to move into Sneaker Vault now.
Wow, this show is packed. We've got so much news. This is kind of some sad news in Sneakerland. This week, the Kobe Bryant estate decided not to renew its contract with Nike, which sent shockwaves in the basketball sneaker community. They do not have a contract, so as of right now, there will be no new Kobe's released until something happens. There is a chance they could renegotiate a new contract, but as of right now, Kobe's are on hold. There are no Kobe's to be had in the general marketplace. I went on eBay immediately after I saw this news to see if I could snatch up a few Kobe's I didn't have, and prices were already marked up. So the people that have the Kobe's know what they're worth. So I decided to go into my vault and pull out a pair that I really, really like. These are in the OG box. I had to search these out when they came out. This is a pair of the Nike Kobe 6s, and this is the Rice edition. I love the color. Not quite James Harden bright, but still a very cool shoe. Kobe has sponsored a few high schools. One of the high schools was Lower Merion, the high school that he went to. But Rice High School is in Harlem, and Kobe Bryant was the official shoe of Rice High School in Harlem. Rice is no longer open, so this is a a very rare pair of Kobe 6s in a killer colorway. This is the green apple colorway. And I love these shoes a ton. And until they renegotiate their deal, you're not going to see these at all. So this is my sneaker of the week, the Nike Kobe 6 Rice Edition colorway.
Beautiful. Man, I don't know where you find these things. And meanwhile, you must live like in a shoe warehouse.
I really do. I live in a Foot Locker. I do. I live in a Foot Locker.
How do you have room for anything else? It's amazing.
I don't. You
just don't.
It's all jerseys and shoes.
This shows how much you love it. All right, we're going to close out with this. So Dallas Mavericks star Luka Doncic isn't happy about the new play-in format.
Yes.
He says, I don't understand the idea of a play-in. Luka says, you play 72 games to get into the playoffs, then maybe you lose 2 in a row and you're out of the playoffs. So I don't see the point of that.
Wow.
Does he have a point? What do you think of this?
Well, some people resist change. I think Luka's a little frustrated because the team is underperformed, and he knows there's a good chance he's probably going to be in that play-in tournament. He would rather get that 6th spot or better and avoid it altogether because he knows if he ends up in that play-in tournament, anything could happen. So this is a dude. I think fear is the undercurrent of this episode.
It is.
I think this is another superstar that is expressing fear about having to perform.
And it's not something that gets talked about a lot.
No.
Fear. It's like everybody in the NBA, the last thing they want to talk about is I'm afraid. No one.
Yes.
They're not even going to admit that. And I don't blame them. Like,
yes.
That would be like, throwing blood in the water among sharks and diving in.
Right.
Not the best idea, but
right.
In your own head, you got to know. If I'm Luka, I'm not going to put that line out there.
Nope.
Because I'm going to say to myself, I am not going to ever entertain it. It's like the Charles Barkley theory of speaking. You don't
Nope.
admit that there's anyone better than you.
No, you don't. You got to have that. You got to have that armor of confidence and bravado, because the fact that he said this, and if they end up in that play-in tournament, if I'm playing the Dallas Mavericks, I know their superstar is in the back of his head thinking, what if we lose?
That's right. And would Jordan ever think that? He wouldn't care. He'd be like, I have 2 games. I will beat you in 4 of them.
Right. Right.
And I will end your life.
Right. Right.
That's his
He will
mindset.
bet you that he'll beat you just to give himself some extra motivation.
This is a good thing to finish up on, because I think the NBA is one of the best games for watching the mental game.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
The strongest guys of all time, in terms of all-time greats, had minds of steel.
Yes.
Every single one of them. So these guys, they've got to learn that.
Yes. Yes. I think when they say it's a make or miss league, that is a way of just narrowing the playing field. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get too high on the highs. You don't get too low on the lows. It's a make or miss league. I made my shot. Great. We won the game. I missed my shot. I'll have other opportunities to make shots in the future.
Yeah, and the thing is, you need a short memory going back, but you also need to not look too far ahead. To me,
Right.
Luka's looking too far ahead. Why are you even looking at that right now?
Yep. Be present.
That's right. That is the other mantra of this show now.
Yes.
Be present. We got
Yes.
be present. We got
Be present.
Undercurrent of fear.
Orange
we got Rainbow
sherbet.
Yeah, exactly. We knew to finish there. All right, Sully, so take us out.
Guys, we had a lot of show this week. We had a lot. We covered it all. I think this was the hard reset that we needed as we get ready to go into the playoffs. We'll be back next week. I'm Suli McCullough. That's my co-host, Dan Ratner. We'll see you again when we run it back.